Hi gardening friends, welcome back to Sprigs and Sprouts. My name is Suzette and today I wanted to take you on a September garden tour. So to start with, I wanted to show you my potatoes. Now we planted these potatoes together on June 21st. They're the Kennebec variety and you can see now they're just starting to die back. I'm not going to harvest them until they're completely died back. I've got so much to harvest in the garden that I'm not going to worry about them yet. Okay, so right here we're standing in an area that basically has become my squash patch. So as you can see, I've got lots of butternut squash here. I don't know if you can see that. Some of them are quite small, but others are quite large. You can see over here. Got quite a few here forming. And also I have a lot of spaghetti squash. Now this one here, I actually don't even know what happened to it. It looks the shape of a spaghetti squash, but I've never seen a green one, so it'll be interesting to try that one out. And if you look through my garden here, there is a lot of spaghetti squash forming. And you can also see that powdery mildew is starting to take over the plants. But hopefully we'll be able to harvest these before they completely die off. So coming along here, this is a bed that, as you know if you've watched any of my other videos, is a bed that we have struggled with. I mostly just let it do its thing, but surprisingly the eggplants are actually starting to form. Now this pepper's done nothing, but also my jalapeno peppers are starting to produce now. So even though it was really, I had given up on this garden, there is still some production. If you look at the beans over here, these are the Italian runner beans and I've just let them go to seed now. So you can see, when you let the beans dry out, this one's not quite ready, but the beans on the inside will be good for seed. So that's what I'm doing with these beans now, is I'm going to be saving them for seed. Okay, so in this bed I have Hungarian wax sweet peppers, and as you can see they're doing quite well. I'm going to allow this one to mature more fully. I want it to go red so I can harvest some seeds. And also in this bed I have my strawberry plants, and if you take a look, you can see that they're forming. These are the original plants, but you can see they're already forming runners, and the runners are already forming strawberries. So eventually I want this whole bed to be full of strawberries. Back here we have rutabaga. They are not impressively large, but hopefully they'll be tasty. And then behind me here is I have a pot of sweet potatoes. And we've been enjoying the leaves from these sweet potatoes, and as well in this pot over here we have sweet potatoes. I'm actually just allowing it to grow up here on the trellis. And funny enough, I used to have my peas planted here, and I don't know if you can see this, but my peas I've got some volunteer peas here. So I don't know if there's time left in the season for them to do anything, but that was kind of interesting. So moving along to this bed, again, this bed was not incredibly impressive in the fact that it took a long time for things to grow, and the growth is very small. Like when you look, I planted carrots, kale, and chard here, and you can see that they're small. They look like they've been newly planted, but these should be more mature. But still we're getting harvest out of them. Again, you can see this onion might be the largest onion I've grown all year. Just a tiny little thing, so definitely need to improve that. Some acorn squash is growing here, and oh actually look at that, there's even new growth here. Oh look, yeah. So anyways, it's still producing. I don't know if that'll have time to fully mature or not, but that's kind of exciting. And again with these beans here, I'm just allowing it to go to seed now. These are just a plain green pole bean. So this is when you want to grab them for seeds, and you just pull them open and the beans inside will be, you just dry them out and they'll be ready for planting for next year. So that's what I'm intending to do with those beans as well. So here we are at my asparagus bed. They seem to be doing well. I don't know I've never grown asparagus, so I'm trusting that they're doing okay. But in amongst the asparagus, I have both kale and parsley, and we have been harvesting a ton of kale and parsley, which my husband and I really enjoy. I also have, you'll notice throughout my garden, I've just put tomatoes throughout, just in the pathways, and that's been really advantageous. I've been getting a ton of tomato production. Over here, this was my garlic bed, and for the past few weeks, probably 4 or 5 weeks, it has been where we've been harvesting lettuce for salads, lettuce and arugula. Also yellow beans are now in production, and my carrots are growing, and I also have a few kales that I'm hoping will do well for fall harvest. And actually, this is kind of funny. I have a volunteer chard here. I have no idea where this came from, but it looks healthy and good, so we'll be using it. So this bed is where I transplanted my eggplants and my peppers that were not doing good. And I can't believe it, but I think we're gonna get some eggplants off of here. If you come in here, they honestly look incredibly healthy. Look at the leaves, and they are forming fruit. Look at the flowers. So I think I'm still gonna get eggplant. So I'm really happy about that. And this here, I just wanted to show you. I didn't even know what this was. I thought, is it some sort of arugula? But I looked at it and I can see that it's a radish. So this is a little tip. If you want to collect seeds, I'm just letting this radish grow, and eventually it's going to grow a flower that's going to turn into seeds. I've never collected radish seed, but that's typically what plants do, and so I'm leaving that. So if you have something that you've forgotten to harvest, sometimes it's worth just leaving it so that you can collect the seeds, so you don't have to buy seeds again. So these are the pepper plants that were doing pathetically in the other bed. I transplanted them in mid-July, which you're never supposed to transplant in the heat of the summer. And look at these peppers. I'm finally getting some production. So these are, I always have to check, these are the sweet banana peppers. So I'm really happy about that. I'm almost finished harvesting these Tokyo Market turnips. We just had some last night for dinner actually, and we love them. I will definitely grow these year after year and multiple times actually I'm just thinking about it now. I should probably plant some now because there's still time to harvest some. Carrots, the germination rate of these carrots was fantastic. I haven't started harvesting these because I still have 2 other beds that I'm harvesting from, so we'll just leave them grow. The other thing in this bed are the Maxi Bell beans right along here, and these have done better with my succession sowing of them than my original sowing. So if you've ever debated on whether to bother doing succession planting, I highly recommend it. This is the first time I've ever tried it, and I am blown away by the results. I had no idea that they would turn out this well. Right here, just before we move on, are the Touchstone Gold beets, and I'm going to be honest with you, some of them are pathetically small. Like if you look in here, some of them are really small. I don't know if I maybe sowed them too close, but as you've seen in my other video, some of them get quite, this is a nice size one, but some have been like really, really big. So I just pull out the large ones and let the other ones continue growing, and that's worked out pretty well. Same story over here with my red beets. Now the leaves aren't looking so great, but we're still harvesting beets, and I will continue to do so. I'm hoping to get some pickling done. I think these are Yukon Gold potatoes. I can't believe how green these still are. I would have expected them to die off because I planted them such a long time ago. So I'm hoping that the tubers under the ground are amazingly big, but I'm not even going to bother harvesting until they've completely died back. I've got a few things going on over here. This is a Brussels sprout plant, which I have never grown before, but if you come over here, it's interesting. You can see how the Brussels sprouts are forming here. Now, from what I understand, I think I'm supposed to pull off the leaves so that the Brussels sprouts form. So that's a chore I'm gonna do today. Over here, I did some more planting. I did that. We did that together. There's some radish, arugula, some carrots, and I believe there's kale over there. So that's all germinated and it's growing. This here is called this is what I thought was a butternut squash, but it's a honey nut. It's kind of like a butternut. I will definitely be growing these every year. They are prolific, so I would recommend them. They grow, you can see here, they are spread out all through here, and it's so exciting because look at this. Like, I would have thought they're done producing fruit at this point of the year, but look at this. They are still putting out more fruit. So honey nut, that's a definite winner. My cantaloupe, I have harvested 2. I only have 3 more to harvest, and I don't see it producing any more. So not super successful in terms of production, but if you saw my last video, or one of my last videos, the taste was fantastic. So these 2 beds are my tomato paste beds. Been harvesting lots of tomatoes off of them. Moving along here, this is kind of interesting. This cucumber plant, I don't know, to me it looks like not even very healthy. Like, look at some of the leaves on this plant. I haven't grown a whole lot of cucumber before. In fact, this is my first year, I think, growing cucumber. But look at the crazy production I'm getting off of this thing. So many cucumbers on this pathetic little plant. I'm amazed. And look at, there's even more growth coming up here. So we've had tons of cucumber just from this plant. And in behind here, I've heavily pruned, and I've also sprayed these zucchini plants, hoping to get a little bit more production here. But because I've pruned it, now my Swiss chard is really taking off, because now looking back, that was probably the best place to plant chard, because for the most of the season the zucchini was covering it. But now it's doing well, and so I've been harvesting that. So this bed here, I've got kale. I don't know why this is happening with my kale. If you guys know why, like, overall it looks healthy and I've been harvesting it, but I don't know what this is. It doesn't look like a bug or anything, but I don't know why that's happening to it and the lower leaves. So, but anyways, for the most part, I'm getting a lot of kale here. These carrots, I mean, this is where I've been harvesting a lot of my carrots. They've done awesome. These are the Italian runner beans. They've done well. I did have an acorn squash here, but it looks like it's dying, so I harvested 2 acorn squash yesterday from it. These are the hot banana peppers. And so we've been harvesting a lot of peppers from here. We've got a few more Brussels sprout plants, so I'm hoping that I actually get Brussels sprouts this year. From what I understand, a lot of people have had mixed results growing Brussels sprouts, so I don't know what to expect. It seems like it's a difficult crop to grow, but I'm hoping for the best here. This is where we planted this bed out after we harvested the potatoes. This is a Chinese cabbage, and I've never grown them before, but they look like they're doing really well. So I hope that they continue to do well. And this is my dill. I love dill weed, and it's doing fantastic. I've got some basil growing up here really well, and I've also got some lovage here, and that's all doing well. My mushroom bed, I'm excited. Soon I'm hoping to show you actual mushrooms. Now this bed we just planted out today, which is in the video, in a video. And here is another succession planting. We planted this a little while ago. This is the radishes, and most of them are pretty much ready to harvest. The spinach, basil, some carrots, and even the spinach. I don't know. I haven't had great results from spinach. Look how small some of these are, and then they get eaten. So some of them are growing and some aren't. And then my carrots, they didn't all fully germinate. That's probably my own fault. I probably didn't water them enough maybe. And then this here is arugula. And I think I planted bok choy too, but I'm thinking the bok choy seeds were probably old. So I don't think they germinated for that reason. But I do like bok choy, so I think that's I'm gonna have to buy some bok choy seeds for next year. Okay, 2 more beds. This bed here, for most of the season, has been mostly lettuce. I did plant out some more arugula, some radish. This cucamelon, I don't know, like I turn away for a second and it like takes over my bed. Like, look at my poor tomato plant. It's like getting covered in this thing. I don't think I'm going to grow this again. It's got lots of production, and if you like the flavor of the fruit, it'll produce a lot for you, but for us, we didn't particularly enjoy it. This here I wanted to show you because, so one of the things that I wanted to show you, because it's September, it's harvest season, but it's also seed saving season. So a lot of you might be curious on how I save seeds. Lots are familiar with dandelions. They know that when they go white like this, it carries away the seed. It's the same with lettuce. So this is how you collect the lettuce seeds. You just allow your plant to fully develop the seeds. They go to flower, then you'll see these white little things, and that's when you know it's ready for seeds. So it will produce a ton. So that's why I still have this one. This is a romaine lettuce. And over here, I'm doing the same thing. You can see the different varieties. I leave them and I'll be collecting the seeds. A final thing that I wanted to show you in this bed, when I planted it out, I had planted and I had put this sign, sorrel. I never saw any grow. I thought it all was lost. The lettuce grew up. I harvested it. But look at what I have here. They were hidden by the mature lettuce. I have never grown sorrel. In fact, I've never even tasted it. So I'm really excited to see what it's like. It looks sort of like a spinach, and I think it's really used a lot for soups. So I'm excited to try that, and I'll let you know how we enjoy that. So that pretty much covers it for my September, garden tour video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my garden. One thing in September that's to note is that it's not only a time to see what we're harvesting, but it's a time to see what seeds we can collect, and also a time to plant for our fall garden. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to see how things are progressing in my garden and some little tips to help you in your own garden. Thanks for watching. See you next time.